Prophet Musa alayhi salam grew up as a prince. The pharaohs who ruled over Egypt were very cruel towards the descendants of Yaqub alayhi salam. The descendants were known as the children of Israel. They were kept as slaves and forced to work for small wages, and sometimes even for nothing. The Pharaoh wanted the Israelites to obey only him and worship only his gods. This way, many dynasties came to Egypt and they assumed that they were gods or their representative spokesmen. Years passed, and a very cruel man named Fir'aun was the Pharaoh now. He hated the Israelites very much. He punished the Israelites at every given opportunity. He hated to see them multiplying and prospering in his kingdom. One night when the Pharaoh was sleeping, he had a dream. In his dream, he saw that a huge ball of fire came from the sky and burned down the city. The fire burned the houses of all Egyptians, but the houses of Israelites stayed unharmed. The Pharaoh was horrified. He didn't understand what the dream meant. So, the next day, he called his priests and magicians. He asked them about the dream he had. The priest said to him, "This means a boy will be born to the Israelites very soon. Egyptians are going to perish at the hands of this boy." The Pharaoh got very angry. He ordered to kill every male child born to the Israelites. Pharaoh's order was carried out, and the soldiers began to kill every male child born to the Israelites. It was during at that time that Prophet Musa alayhi salam was born. The Prophet was born to a poor Israelite family, and he had an elder brother named Harun alayhi salam and another sister. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had a plan for the Prophet. He ordered his mother to place him in a basket and allow it to float downstream in the great Nile River. Musa alayhi salam's mother did as she was told, and she let him float in the river. Her heart grieved for her son. However, she was aware that Allah cared for her son, and she knew that no harm will come to them. As the basket floated away, she asked her daughter to follow the basket downstream and make sure that no harm came to her son. The basket floated in the river for a long time, and the Prophet's sister followed the basket as her mother had instructed. Allah was guiding the basket, and after floating on River Nile for some time, the basket entered a small stream. The Pharaoh's wife was bathing in that stream, and when she saw the basket, she asked her servants to bring it ashore. When she saw the baby, she just fell in love with him. Pharaoh's wife was very different from the Pharaoh. She was a believer, and she was also merciful. She was longing for a child, so when she saw the baby, she hugged and kissed him. Pharaoh was surprised when he saw his wife hugging and kissing the baby. He was astonished as he saw her weeping with joy which he had never seen before. "Let me keep this baby and let him be a son to us," she requested her husband. The Pharaoh could not refuse her, and they decided to adopt the baby. After some time, the baby started getting hungry, and he started crying. The queen summoned a few wet nurses to feed the baby, but he refused to take any of their breast milk. It was then the soldiers brought the sister to the queen. "This girl was following the basket," they told her. Then the sister replied, "I was just following the basket out of curiosity, Your Highness." When she saw her brother crying, she was worried, and she blurted out, "I know someone who can feed him." The queen agreed, and she ordered the soldiers to fetch the woman that the little girl was talking about. The Prophet's sister then brought the mother, and she started to feed him. As the child was put to her breast, he immediately started suckling the milk. The Pharaoh, who was watching all this, was astonished and asked, "Who are you?" This child has refused to take any other breast but yours? The mother of the prophet knew that if she told them the truth, they would kill them immediately. So she told them, I am a woman of sweet milk and sweet smell. That's why no child refuses me. Her answer satisfied the Pharaoh, and she was appointed as his nurse. Musa alayhi salam grew up in the palace as a prince. Allah granted him good health, strength, knowledge and wisdom. He had a kind heart, so the weak and oppressed often turned to him seeking help. One day while he was walking in the city, he saw an Egyptian soldier beating an Israelite. When the Israelite saw the Prophet, he begged him for his help. The Prophet decided to help the poor man and asked the soldier to stop beating the Israelite. The soldier questioned his authority and said something that really angered the Prophet. The Prophet first tried to reason with the soldier, but he was not willing to listen. Then the Prophet stepped forward and hit the soldier with such a powerful blow that he collapsed and died. When he realized what he had done, a cold sweat broke out from his forehead. He said to himself, "This is the evil work of Shaitan. He misled me." The Prophet knew that it was a sin to kill anyone until he is brought to trial and found guilty. He knelt on the ground and prayed to Allah, "Oh my Lord, I have indeed wronged my soul. Please forgive me." The next day, he saw the same Israelite fighting with another man. The Prophet helped the weaker one and said, "You seem to be involved in fights every day with one or the other." The Israelite got scared and said, "I'm so sorry. Please don't kill me like how you killed the soldier yesterday." The Egyptian with whom the Israelite was fighting overheard the remarks and he reported this to the authorities. The next day, when Musa alayhi salam was walking in the city, a man came running to him. "Musa, the soldiers are coming to arrest you. Get away while there is still time," said the man. The Prophet knew that the penalty for killing an Egyptian was death, so he decided to leave Egypt. The Prophet left Egypt in a hurry, so he didn't even bother to change his clothes. He was not prepared for traveling, so he didn't have an animal to ride, nor did he have a caravan. He had left as soon as the man warned him.
ودخل المدينة على حين غفلة من أهلها فوجد فيها رجلين يقتتلان هذا من شيعته وهذا من عدوه فاستغاثه الذي من شيعته على الذي من عدوه فوكزه موسى فقضى عليه قال هذا من عمل الشيطان إنه عدو مضل مبين قال رب إني ظلمت نفسي فاغفر لي فغفر له إنه هو الغفور الرحيم قال رب بما أنعمت علي فلن أكون ظهيرا للمجرمين فأصبح في المدينة خائفا يترقب فإذا الذي استنصره بالأمس يستصرخه قال له موسى إنك لغوي مبين فلما أن أراد أن يبطش بالذي هو عدو لهما قال يا موسى أتريد أن تقتلني كما قتلت نفسا بالأمس إن تريد إلا أن تكون جبارا في الأرض وما تريد أن تكون من المصلحين وجاء رجل من أقصى المدينة يسعى قال يا موسى إن الملأ يأتمرون بك ليقتلوك فاخرج إني لك من الناصحين فخرج منها خائفا يترقب قال رب نجني من القوم الظالمين ولما توجه تلقاء مدين قال عسى ربي أن يهديني سواء السبيل